way.
that changed us in a very deep and profound way.
Oh. Did you do Audacity?
Day forward.
Yeah.
What was it?
Oh, okay. Well, we didn't clap.
And I screamed out,
We can do it now. Hang on.
Then I turned and the spit ricocheted off him and it hit me.
Hang on.
Wow.
Not
What a
responding.
story.
Unfortunately, the immutable laws of physics
you're
contradict the
playing the
whole
whole clip.
premise of your account. Allow me to reconstruct this, if I may, for Miss Bennis, as I've heard the story.
This doesn't get
Okay.
taken
Alright.
down.
Newman,
Alright,
Kramer, if
hang
you'll
on. All right,
indulge
let's do
me.
it.
3, 2,
According
1.
to your story, Hernandez
Beautiful.
passes you and starts walking up the ramp. Then you say you were struck.
All right. Oh, it would help if I actually had.
We got 2 minutes.
Whoa.
Oh, they can hear us, by the way. They can hear us through the clip.
Oh, well, shout out. There we go. All right, everybody, welcome. We got no logo again. All right, everybody, how we doing? The spit heard around the world. That's right. Something's going on with that movie. There's something in the water over at Warner Brothers. I don't know. But how have you been, TJ? How's it going in TJ land over there?
Well, I'm one of your hosts, TJ Cornwell, and you are the other host,
Sean Monk.
Good. I've been good. We are dog sitting currently for Cassidy's dog, Blue. He's a good dog, but he barks a lot. So sometimes you have to tell him to, zip it. But other than that, he's a good dog. What else have I been up to? I've been watching a lot of things. Been watching, obviously, Game of Thrones, which we've gone through. Been watching, what is the other show? She-Hulk, obviously. And then, so recently I watched, let's see real quick, what have I watched since? So I saw The Black Phone finally.
Oh, really? How did you like that?
Were
you scared?
Yeah. I didn't like it as much as I really wanted to.
Yeah.
The whole kind of paranormal thing kind of didn't really work for me, and I think more also like Ethan Hawke's character kind of didn't work for me either. As the grabber.
Too like over the top, or just like kind of the
no, it's
stuff?
just there was some like story, like some story elements, some characters also related to him that just didn't. I wanted more. Like I wanted more information.
I will give you that. I think I know what element of it you're talking about.
Yeah,
that was.
You saw it, right?
Yeah, that was a little easy or convoluted a little bit. I thought, but...
or even with the kids too, like some of their backstory. Like I wanted more of that too, like more of their, like I got a little bit from their mom, from the dad's perspective, but I wanted more of that. I watched this documentary called "Take the Ball, Pass the Ball." It's about Barcelona in, I forget what year it is, but they had like a 4-year stretch the team did of just being dominant throughout Europe and everything like that. So I watched that. When I saw Jaws in IMAX
As
for
did I.
Cinema Day, National Cinema Day. That's a made up day. It was good, except for that poor kid in our theater that threw up. That poor kid. I think you probably were aware of that, and somebody cleaned it up. But shout out to that kid. I watched 30 for 30. Al Davis versus the NFL. I watched the Nightmare on Elm Street documentary, Never Sleep Again, the Elm Street Legacy, at a whopping, I think 200. It was a whopping 200 some minutes, 240 minutes, so about 4 hours.
You watched a 4-hour documentary on the Nightmare on Elm Street movies?
Yeah, I haven't even seen all the movies. I've only seen like 1 and 2. That was good. And then I also watched Burnt, which is a movie that I've been actually wanted to watch for a while.
Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, me and Danielle were looking for something to watch, and I was like, 13 Lives. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. I wonder if Burnt is on anything. And it was on like Tubi or whatever it was. That's a pretty good movie. I thought the ending was like, well, does he get the star? Like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, which is kind
It's
of
for you
annoying.
to
Like all
decide.
that, I
Maybe you
want to
got
know.
it only in your heart.
Yeah. But overall, it was a pretty good movie. Um, Nothing like completely out of this world or anything, but I was satisfied, and
Nice.
that's it. I think that's all I watched.
How was Jaws for you? Because I'll go
Ja-
into I'll give my thoughts on it too, because we both not
Oh,
the same showing or anything, but
right. No, Jaws was great to see it. I was definitely I've only seen it the one time before, and I don't even remember when it was. So like I was scared when the dead body comes out of that boat. I jumped
Oh yeah.
there. And there was like one or two like shark kills or whatever or just shark like coming out of the water that got me too.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it. It was kind of like me seeing it for the first time again because I didn't remember much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same. I really enjoyed it. Same as you. It's been years and years since I had seen it, so a lot of it I had forgotten. So that's why I really wanted to make sure that I saw this in the theater, and I'm super glad that I did. I thought it looked fantastic too, like the IMAX presentation of it. I thought was well worth the money for you, I guess. But
Yeah, $3.
oh, that's true. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
But I think it's well worth the trip out to the theater while it's playing on IMAX, because it's a very good movie, and I think especially watching it theatrically really just like shows how little it's aged, I guess. Really, I mean, if you take cell phones out of it, which really wouldn't have changed anything about the story, you know what I mean? Like it's never a thing of where like, oh, they get lost at sea and then they can't phone back home or something. I mean, they do, but it's not a dire situation. But like I think it's a movie that could easily be made today and everything, and the story is just kind of timeless in that, this could happen today, the exact same circumstances, and I think that it really holds up that way. But anyways, the performances for me were just like so good, like even better than I remember it, and I'm sure that has to do with the big screen, like seeing Robert Shaw as Quint, like, and it just is the slow pan into his face. Just looks so great on the IMAX screens.
One thing I wanted to say, like walking out of it, I told Daniel, I was like, I cannot believe somebody like made that shark. Like it's just like crazy to me that like somebody like built that whole thing.
It looks so good, and it's like
and like you said, like it ages really well. I thought like the only like shot that stood out to me of being like that looks really bad was just this one shot of Richard Dreyfuss just like clearly standing in front of like a green screen or something with like the ocean like behind him. That obviously wasn't real, but that was like the only thing, and I don't even remember what it was. It was like some quick thing, but
just for the comments, so that people don't yell at TJ, it would be like a map painting because green screen doesn't. I could just
matte painting. Sorry, you're right, matte painting.
But I know exactly.
Which, by the way, just speaking of matte paintings, that's something I learned a lot about in that ILM documentary.
Oh yeah.
Even that, like those, like I was like, that's crazy that somebody like paints that and then he just like kind of composite it into the shot or whatever. I was like, that's wild.
I even just today I was looking at somebody on TikTok had posted the side by side of the entrance, kind of the establishing shots of Cloud City in Empire Strikes Back, and like the side by side. I literally looked and I was like, okay, so there's the in-camera shot of Leia walking around in the room. Then the rest is a matte painting that the film is just sitting in, and then they added a composite element of the ship flying by. Like, and I was just like looked at it straight up with like all the tools and process that like I learned in that ILM documentary. So it was just like, it's so cool that it gives you the information on it, and then you can literally like see kind of how they did it more in the actual movie. But yeah, I don't really think that I've watched much movies. I don't think I've just been kind of doing a lot of stuff for the channel, playing random like games on my phone when I've been bored and stuff, just working a lot and stuff like that. So, but I do have a vacation coming up at work, so I'm planning to my biannual Harry Potter probably rewatch or marathon, whatever you want to call it. What is this? Oh. So yeah, I haven't really been watching that much, but I am continuing with my Game of Thrones rewatch, sorry. And then of course, like TJ said, House of the Dragon, for me right now, is still the best show on television. I remember what I could talk about, but yeah, House of the Dragon, best show on television right now for me, at least. I know TJ is really enjoying it too, and you can check out our reviews. We have a review up for episode 1, episode 2, and episode 3. And we will keep doing those every single week for the next 7 more weeks. So yeah. One thing I can talk about that I started watching is Lord of the Rings: Rings of Power, which I almost completely forgot about because it was almost a week ago. And also, it is one of the most boring episodes of like fantasy television or high budget television, I'll even say, that I have maybe ever seen. It was just such a disappointment to me, and I know a lot of people have said that episode 2 is way better, that it really picks up in episode 2. That might be. I just cannot launch back into it right now. I told TJ this the other day, that I was basically just going to see how people feel about like episode 3 and episode 4 type of thing. And if people really say that the first episode's just kind of a fluke, then I will definitely jump back in and do, a couple reviews on the channel to get caught up and everything, and then keep going with those reviews. But as of right now, that is why we don't have any Rings of Power reviews or anything like that on the channel, is simply because currently we are not watching it. Yeah. But if you guys watched Rings of Power, the first 2 episodes, let us know. What do you guys think of it? Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not just not gonna, even if like you hear like the 3rd episode's good or whatever, I'm just not gonna. I'm just not and I've said this before. I'm not a Lord of the Rings person. I can respect the movies for what they are. I do enjoy them, but I just it's not really my thing, my lane.
All right. So, let's talk about it. This past weekend, I should say, was the Venice Film Festival over in Venice, California. No, I'm just kidding. Or in Venice, Italy, of course. Super prestigious, long-running film festival. We got a couple of things to talk about coming out of there. First of which, I want to touch on the 15-minute standing ovation that Sadie Sink, Darren Aronofsky, and especially Brendan Fraser got for their film The Whale. Apparently was a huge smash hit at the festival this past weekend. We've been hearing about this movie for a while. It's basically going to be a huge, or what people are expecting to be a huge role, Oscar contention, Oscar buzz type thing for both Sadie Sink and Brendan Fraser, who are playing a father-daughter in there. But did you hear about this with The Whale getting this standing ovation and kind of the feedback that's come from that so far?
Yeah, I saw some of the ovation that was videotaped. Obviously Brendan Fraser, very humble in his applause and everything. It was really just nice to see him get that kind of applause, especially everything he's been through in the past few years.
Yeah.
And I've heard he's like really good in the movie, like not Oscar nominee, worthy. And obviously Sadie Sink also very good in the movie, but I feel like I've seen maybe the movie's just not as good as their performances. So I'll be interested to see like when it comes out. I think it comes out end of this month or beginning of October or something like that. In theaters. So I'm excited for that. I'm definitely gonna have to watch. I don't know if I've ever seen a movie from Darren Aronofsky. I've definitely never seen
Noah or
nope.
Wow, why are his like
or
filmography
killing of the that Colin Farrell one.
Oh yeah,
he did that, right?
No, that's not him. That was Yorgos Lanthimos. So Aronofsky is
excuse me, Yorgo. Sorry.
Aronofsky is Mother, Black Swan.
Yeah, no.
Requiem for a
Swan.
Dream.
I've seen Black Swan.
There you go. Requiem for a Dream. Jared Leto. Noah, The Fountain.
Never seen that, yeah.
Pi. Let's see here. There you go.
That's it.
That's pretty much it on the big ones. Wow. This.
I've
The
definitely-
Wrestler, The Fighter, Jackie, Some Kind
Jeez.
of Heaven, White Boy Rick.
Oh, I've seen he did White Boy Rick.
That's what it's showing me on Google. Hang on. Nope. Producer.
I was gonna
Why would they
say
do
that movie seemed like not his
Yeah.
his style.
Why did they do that? So, yeah, busy
But
man.
I have seen Black Swan. I did enjoy Black Swan, so
Mm-hmm.
but I definitely want to check out. You know, like Requiem for a Dream is on that list, but is on my watch list, but it's something that I feel like I would just be very uncomfortable watching. Just from what everybody I feel like has described it being. That movie, and then Mother I've wanted to see, but I've also heard it's awful.
Mhm.
So I don't, you know. I've seen the baby scene, which is kind of
Oh, yeah,
gross.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
and I think that was like probably the most shocking thing in that movie, correct? Have you seen it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So I would want to check out those two, but yeah, I definitely want to see more of what he's done before I see it.
Yeah, absolutely. I really want to see some of the things I haven't seen. I've seen a lot of his, but I have not seen Black Swan. So I maybe want to watch that one before this comes out. But this, to me, honestly, almost feels now kind of unlike his other projects. I feel like the other ones have such an element of kind of like a heightened something in them, either like heightened paranoia or stress or something like that. Which maybe this does go into, or he's spoken about. It does, heavily comment on, of course, because of what it is, obesity and kind of eating disorders and things like that. So maybe that's more the angle that he has on it, which I think would be awesome. Let's see. Right. So let's talk about it. So another film that also made its premiere at the Venice Film Festival is Don't Worry, Darling. Which has had a lot of intrigue and interest in the news lately, as you could tell by the thumbnail and the title of this video. But first, let's talk about the actual film, and then we can kind of dive into what the hell is going on with the making of this film, or specifically the press of this film. So first of all, the film currently is sitting on Rotten Tomatoes with
42%.
Yeah, 42%.
With
And
33
believe it or
reviews.
not, that actually has gone up. I believe it debuted at 37 or 39%.
Yeah.
Which is, crazy. Considering, everything going on with Warner Brothers as a whole, they have basically it's been very public knowledge that they literally only had the money to do two big releases this year. For the rest of the year, one of which they chose to be Don't Worry, Darling, the other being Black Adam. So to kind of have them pick this as one of their kind of golden geese, and for it to kind of be falling apart here right at the finish line is very, very surprising to me because, I'll let you speak for yourself, but for me, this was one of my most anticipated for the rest of the year.
Yeah, it was definitely up there for me. And, just coming off what Olivia Wilde did with Booksmart, I think that was pretty universally praised as a very, very, very good directorial debut. But yeah, it seems to be the consensus on this is that the themes that it's trying to discuss are just, it doesn't go anywhere new. Like, it just rehashes things that other movies have done. And some of the reviews, I think, say that, like, the movies that came before this did it better than what this does. In which you can, from watching the trailers, I feel like you still can't really get a grasp of what the movie is like totally about. So I'm still excited to see it. Just for like the performances. I know Harry Styles had some quote or something that like he doesn't know what he's doing when he's acting or something like that. Like so I'm interested to see how he does. And obviously Florence Pugh and everybody that's in it.
Yeah, I think I'm still interested to see it. Like, I still am anticipating it just to see, kind of, I don't know. I mean, to see what I think about it, but also just to see if it is a good movie or not. I mean, because also,
Uh-huh.
you know, sometimes you don't have to agree with critics. Well, you never have to agree with critics, but sometimes, you know, you form your own opinion on things. So I'm hoping that I'll still end up liking this one, but I don't know. It's just looking a little rougher day by day here. But I just want to get caught up. Chat. We have Michelle says, "Love seeing Jaws in IMAX. Nothing like Bruce Feet High. I don't know what that is. And that pull-out shot from the Chief. Wow. Oh yeah. Okay, I see it. I see what she's saying. The dolly zoom shot, like the famous shot of Chief Brody with the zoom. Yeah, that was incredible. I knew a mile away just from the background and everything. Like I remembered exactly when it was coming up.
Right.
So I really like took it all in, and there was just some shots that just kind of blow your mind in that movie when you realize like it. Yes, it's a great shot that we've seen before, but people had never seen it before when they saw this movie, which is so cool. But then Michelle says, "I've never seen Black Swan. I love Natalie. Not sure why. I just never saw it." Well, there you go. All right. So yeah, let's get into a little bit of what the hell is going on with the production of this movie. So we talked a little bit last week about some of the Florence Pugh, Shia LaBeouf, Olivia Wilde issues. Now, seemingly after a day that, you know, people didn't even know if Florence Pugh was going to show up, who then did show up on her own and did sit with the cast and everything for the movie, but then basically that was it. She did not participate in any of the press that was happening on that day or anything like that. Two people that did, however, were Chris Pine and Harry Styles, who kind of, throughout the day, I was seeing stuff on Twitter that was just like, oh, Chris Pine is having his Joker moment, you know, having to sit through these interviews with Harry Styles.
Yeah.
Like, Chris Pine this, Chris Pine that, like, I was seeing all of these things, and it was like Chris Pine just trying to be an unproblematic actor, but having to deal with all this, you know, situation and everything. So I thought that was great too. But then all of a sudden, all this stuff was going on with this video that looks like Harry Styles either spitting on or something happening with Chris Pine. So I'm just going to throw it to you. What do you make of this? Chris Pine's agent has come out and said that there's absolutely no merit to this whatsoever, and that, you know, anybody trying to do anything is just trying to stoke drama between these two professionals, which, you know, that basically is a worthless statement, to be honest.
Right.
But what do you think is going on with all this stuff? What's your take on it?
I am, as much as I would love it to be that like Harry Styles came back to his seat and he spit on Chris Pine.
Yeah.
I'm inclined to believe that is not what happened. I'm just watching the clip now. Oh wait, that's like an edited clip. It's a meme. Where he like, and I saw this on a TikTok that Danielle sent me. It was like he clearly drops his sunglasses or something. But as I was saying to you before we went live, I was like, nobody reacts that way to them dropping their sunglasses near their leg. And then he's like, you know, he's like clapping, and then he's like, oh, he dropped them. And then it was just such a weird reaction. And I was like, you know, I'd just be like, oh, I dropped my sunglasses. Not like, you know, that like face that he does.
Yeah. It's a little question.
And yeah, and then I don't know if you've seen like now there's like opinions. There's like drama or rumors spreading now that like Harry Styles and Olivia Wilde are actually like not together anymore.
Oh gosh, no, I didn't even see that.
Yeah, it's probably just started by some random person, but
yeah,
I've seen that all over, and then something with like the rep
Spitgate is what they're called.
The rep coming out and like vehemently like denying that he spit on him. It's like I wouldn't expect them to come out and say that happened. You know what I mean? Like I would expect like somebody to say, yeah, that didn't happen. Well, it's like, well, obviously you're going to say that. I mean, if you say it happened, then it starts up this whole new drama that I don't think, Chris Pine probably has the time for right now. But I think the people that come out looking the best through all of this is Florence Pugh and Chris Pine, and we have this little mess of something with like Florence Pugh found out that Olivia Wilde and Harry Styles were like, getting together, and Florence Pugh was dating Zach Braff at the time, who co-produces Ted Lasso with Jason Sudeikis, and like that's how he, like this whole thing that like people are like,
I didn't
doing
even
the
know
whole...
that Zach Braff element of it.
Well, that's just I'm not.
Well,
I'm
no,
just
I know.
saying that's something I've
I
seen.
should have rephrased that. I didn't know
Right.
that he was even involved with Ted Lasso, but wow.
Right. Well, he couldn't. I should double check that before I say anymore, because that was just something I saw, but it
I'm
could
sure
be,
it
or I think
happens.
maybe somebody else said that to me.
Yeah.
What if it did? I'm not gonna say it was Danielle because I don't.
Yeah, he's a producer on it.
Oh, he is. Okay.
Yeah.
And
And he directed an episode. He directed. 2
there you
episodes,
go.
it looks like. So yeah, he's definitely involved with it.
But yeah, so that I've seen a lot of the memes of Charlie, pinning all the things like he does in Always Sunny, like, oh, then this still goes to this and that and that. But at the end of the day, unfortunately, it seems like the movie is no good. So this was all for nothing.
Yeah.
Did they get a standing ovation? Did we get a time on that?
Oh, that's
We need an
actually
official
a good
timer.
point.
This is something I've seen on Twitter and I agree with. We
Oh,
need
the
an
Dan
official
Murrell thing?
timer. I don't know if it was Dan Murrow or somebody
okay.
else. I mean, a lot of people are saying it. We need an
Yeah.
official timer at these festivals to clock these standing ovations. There is no way. Like there was some movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I think got like a stupid long one, where I don't know if it was like close to 20 minutes or
5
something.
minutes.
Or maybe
5
it was
minutes.
Paris.
I can confirm 5
It was
minutes.
5 minutes.
5
It was
minutes.
probably the lowest of the time of any of the movies, like probably near
Yeah.
the bottom.
Of any ones
but
that
I
I've
think-
because that Colin Farrell, Brendan Gleeson one,
Yeah.
which I don't have the title of off the top of my head. People are
It's
saying
some
that that's
Irish
incredible.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are saying that that is absolutely incredible. That got a 9-minute standing ovation. And
Yeah, like-
so the Dan Murrow thing quickly. He basically tweeted. He was like, "I've never been to a film festival outside of the United States before."
Right.
When people say 16-minute standing ovation, 9-minute standing ovation, stuff like that, he was basically like, is that even possible? Are you talking about like consecutive? Are you talking about, what are you
Yeah.
talking about? Like that doesn't seem
Right.
possible. And they said basically the reason why is because what they do is they clap for the movie, then
Right.
then they'll announce the producer. Then the producer will stand, they clap for them, then basically, and then it's basically up to the crowd however long they keep clapping for each person, basically.
Give
So
me a
that's why,
break. Like, come
yeah,
on.
exactly.
I mean, it's just like, it's just you always see those tweets like, oh, so and so got this standing ovation for this long. It's just like, did it really though?
Mm-hmm.
But
And like you said,
yeah.
we're just going off reports. We need the timer.
We need the official like timer.
100%.
But like you said, like, or just in general, like this whole stuff was kind of like a shit show, and it started. And then you even throw the whole Shia LaBeouf, Olivia
on top
Wilde
of it.
aspect into it, which was like this whole thing. Which I still have to watch. He did, I guess John Bernthal has a podcast. I didn't know.
Yeah.
And he went
Real
on.
ones.
Shia LaBeouf went on with him, and they talked for like 2.5 hours or something. I guess like they get like really deep into these conversations, I guess, in this podcast. And Shia LaBeouf went through the whole thing with FKA Twigs and those like allegations of mistreatment against her, and so I need to watch that. But like Shia LaBeouf obviously dealing with some things, but he came out and was like, that's not what happened, and she kind of got caught like, making up this story that wasn't true, and then obviously we have that video where she calls Florence Pugh Miss Flo, and
Yeah.
and then I don't know if you've seen the clip going around of, I don't know what show she was on. Olivia Wilde was like, if the movie's bad, it's the director's fault.
Yeah, on Colbert, yeah.
Yeah, and everybody was
yeah,
like,
and he was like, yeah, how come you didn't get a better performance? She's like, exactly. It all comes down
Yeah.
to the director. It's like, oh my God. Do you still have the stream up?
I do, yeah.
Okay. Do you remember that Michael Fassbender movie, the Snowman?
Yes, yes. I've
Okay.
never seen it, but you quote the Mr. Snowman killer guy.
Just take a look at this.
Okay.
I just really liked that.
It's gonna take a minute. Doesn't show
That's
up
true.
for me yet.
Well, all right. I'm gonna delete it then because you'll get it eventually.
Okay.
But I just thought I saw that. I thought that was hilarious.
That's funny.
And then this, I don't know what's going on with this, but where are we? There we go. Somebody's dropping a goat on Chris Pine.
A goat? What?
You'll see. What is wrong with the internet? That's just more of a what is wrong with the internet. You'll see that one when it comes through. But I mean, as you can see, this thing is taking off. I mean, this spit supposed. I mean, this has millions and millions of views.
Another
all
question
over the
for the seating people at the film festival. Why would you? I don't understand the putting Chris Pine in between Olivia Wilde and Harry Styles. I mean, that even fuels those rumors more that they're not together. You know, but that's an interesting seating arrangement. I thought. I don't know why you wouldn't put them together. Because it's not like it's alphabetical, right? It isn't.
No,
doesn't
I think
track.
I think
Yeah.
it's definitely their personal choices of where to sit, because you look, Florence is nowhere near Olivia Wilde. They're on two different ends. And then I don't know, and then Harry, I guess, didn't want to be there either. I don't know what's going on with it. But either way, I don't know, man. It's just
What's your take? You haven't given your take. What is your opinion?
well, my opinion, I don't think he spit on him.
Okay, yeah.
But
I mean, it looks like it.
It
I'm not
de-
like
it is-
the way he
so this is what I have heard, okay? And this
Okay.
is just one person's take on it. I mean, they're
Yeah.
not Chris Pine. So this is just one person's take on it. But somebody said, okay, if I was watching a movie and I went and I was like, man, where did I put my phone? Like, where's my phone? And I did like this and I saw it and I went, like, I'm so stupid. Like, that's where they are. That's what I saw somebody say about his sunglasses. That apparently he was looking for them or thought he had misplaced them, and then when he looked down, he realized that they were on his lap. That's what I heard, and I can buy that
But
enough.
they're in his hand.
They're on his leg. 'Cause
Aren't
he's
they?
clapping.
No. Oh, I thought he had them like around his hand for some reason. I thought he was like
picks 'em up.
clapping on the. Oh,
He
maybe
picks him
that's
up
okay.
after that, and he like keeps clapping. It's two different things, but that is what I tend to believe happened. But I will say this: I think anybody going, people are being so ridiculous. He didn't spin it. The angle that was first released looks exactly like Harry Styles opened his mouth, spit on Chris Pine, and then Chris Pine realized it and made a face of like, did this motherfucker really just do this?
Yeah.
I will say that. It looks exactly like that's
it really
what
does.
happens.
I'm going slow-mo, like Harry
Yeah.
Styles sits down and goes like.
It's the
like
way that like the light hit the top of his lip. It's everything is working against them. But I don't know if it's just me trying to think of a better thing or whatever, but I like to think that he did not. But I don't know.
I'm gonna go with he didn't, but I think it's funny to like, just kind of go with that.
Mm-hmm.
Again, probably terrible because, obviously that's probably not what happened yet. Everybody's running with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just like one thing after another for this.
Mm-hmm. No, exactly. And that's the other thing too, is that seemingly, even if they're not trying to, there is drama created on this movie.
Yeah.
But stuff like that would not happen. Like if this were any other movie or any other production, I guarantee you it would be like, oh my god, look at this thing that, you know, accidentally happened. Like Harry Styles accidentally, like, not spit. It probably wouldn't even be called spit. It probably would have been like Harry Styles accidentally, you know, does a spit take at the Venice Film Festival, and Chris Pine's none too happy about it. You know, that's how it would be. Not like embroiled co-stars Harry Styles spits all over Chris Pine at the film festival. Like, but yeah, it's crazy. I don't know.
Apparently, seems like Chris Pine and Florence Pugh, and even like I guess Nick Kroll. And that's the other thing. Harry Styles and Nick Kroll just making out, I guess.
Yeah.
Which was kind of cool, I guess. That's another thing that people brought up.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it's, you know, it was just kind of like out of the blue. But apparently, it seems like Chris Pine and Florence Pugh, like, really good friends. Chris Pine hyping Florence Pugh up on the carpet before they go in. It looked like.
Hype it up.
Did you see that video?
I did. All right. So next up, right here, dropping just now, got our first look at the Funko Pop for Nick Fury and Secret Invasion. Looks a lot like the set leak that came out about 6 months ago of him with the beanie and the big gray beard and everything with no eye patch. So yeah, what are your thoughts on that? Does that get you any hyped for Secret Invasion?
I mean, it doesn't give me much. I see it's Frightmare on Fun Street. When is that coming out? Did they announce that? When it's coming out?
Early 2023. So I'm going to assume. I'm gonna assume it may even be January, because people are saying that Mando's probably gonna be February. So I'm gonna take a wild guess and say that Secret Invasion is gonna be pretty soon. In terms of, like, I think right at the beginning of January. Yeah. Because I don't think that they're ready to have Mandalorian and a Marvel show go up against each other. I think Obi-Wan and Miss Marvel is one thing, but, like, having a show that with Sam Jackson as your lead going up against the #1 live-action Star Wars show on your platform probably isn't the best idea, especially if they're going to do it on the exact same day. Right. But yeah, I mean, I'm super excited for it. I just wanted to come. But also, our first look at toys and stuff, that is a sign that we are getting closer to trailers, to TV spots, posters, stuff like that. So, yeah. All right.
Yeah, that looks interesting.
So, let us go ahead and talk. For the rest of the show, we're going to be talking about two big things, basically. Both happening next weekend, which is the 2022 Emmys and the 2022 D23. So let's start with the Emmys real quick. I just want to get some of your thoughts on it. I know we talked about the Emmy nominations when they first came out. But now we've seen a lot more. Yeah, exactly. Now we've seen a lot more of these shows or movies and everything since then. So let us see. This is the 74th Primetime Emmy nominations. Limited series is Dopesick, Inventing Anna, Pam and Tommy, The Dropout, and The White Lotus. So the only ones of these that I have not seen any of is The White Lotus. That's the one that had. Did you watch it?
I've not watched any of these.
Oh, okay. So
I have no say.
Inventing Anna and The Dropout, I have not finished yet. Inventing Anna, I am not going to be finishing. That was a train wreck of a show to me. I don't know why it was in the prestige Netflix streaming branch when it probably should have been like an ABC show. I really did not like that. Michelle says in chat, I loved Inventing Anna. So there we go. Different opinions here, folks. But yeah, to me, I thought that the performances were really great in Inventing Anna, but I don't think it deserves to be anywhere near this list. But that being said, out of this list, I think it should probably go to Dopesick. That's Rosario Dawson and Michael Keaton. I thought about kind of the beginnings of kind of the opioid prescriptions, and then the opioid kind of epidemic that's going on and all that stuff. So I would definitely go with that. For me, well, it actually already won because we had the Creative Arts Emmys, which we had Chadwick Boseman winning for What If, a couple of cool winners there. But Chippendale Rescue Rangers won Best Television Movie, as it should, absolutely. Let's see. Yeah, tons. But basically, let's just go for the big ones. Drama series, we got Better Call Saul, Euphoria, Ozark, Severance, Squid Game, Succession, Stranger Things, and Yellow Jackets. The only one on here that I have not seen anything of is Yellow Jackets.
So yeah, the only ones I've seen are Saul, Euphoria, Squid Game, Stranger Things.
I think. Oh, you never watched Severance?
No, it's on the list.
Everybody watching right now, we got 8 people watching. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the like, but let us know in the live chat right now. Should TJ watch Severance? The answer is yes, but let him know why. But I gotta give this to Better Call Saul. Oh wait, no. You know what? I don't have to give it to Better Call Saul because Saul still has one more Emmy year to win for drama series and stuff like that. So I would personally, give it to Squid Game, just because cultural impact. The show itself was fantastic.
Yeah.
As good as Severance was, I should rephrase that. I would be perfectly happy with, obviously, Better Call Saul getting it. That's not even, but I'm saying if Better Call Saul doesn't this year, it still has another chance. I'd be perfectly happy with Severance getting it, and I would be perfectly happy with Squid Game getting it. Just because I think that Squid Game really was just like this crazy phenomenon that is gonna have a season 2, but who knows what that's even gonna look like. So I think it probably deserves some global recognition. But that being said, I would be happy with Better Call Saul as well. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be fine. I'd be happy with Squid Game winning it. I think at the point when I finished it, it was so hyped up that I thought it was going to be something more than it kind of was, like towards the end. But yeah, I'd be fine with that winning. I'd be cool if Stranger Things the most recent season won it. I thought it was a really, really good return for Stranger Things and really brought a lot of people back into the fold on that show. Euphoria, season 2 was very good again, but it just kind of, there was a lot of questions that people had throughout the season with certain characters, and we obviously see that, one character in particular is just gone from the show now. The character's not coming back, which I think you could pretty much tell throughout the show, which I think again I think that's just such a disservice to that character. After having such a decently sized part in the season 1, and then season 2 she like does absolutely nothing, which I think sucks. And then you saw all those like fake tweets going out there like, oh, Alexa Demi not coming back for season 2, Sydney Sweeney not coming back, or season 3. It was funny. Ozark, I haven't seen. Severance I haven't seen. Succession I haven't seen. Yellow Jackets I also have not seen. Is Yellow Jackets on Showtime? Do you know off the top of your head?
I think so.
Gotcha.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm not going to get Showtime just to watch it, but I was just curious.
Well,
Succession
they just announced Showtime is going to be folded into Paramount Plus.
I saw that, but aren't they still just separate? Like it's just Showtime will just show up on Paramount Plus now? I thought that's what it was, but I could be wrong.
Like it'll be a hub.
Right, but you still have to pay for Showtime separately, I think.
No, it'll be like an actual thing of it. Yeah. Because you can do that right now anyway. So like you can add on Showtime to Hulu or Paramount. Like you can do that right now. They're talking like they're actually going to like fold it in. Like it's going to be one of the segments of it.
Well, in that case, then if that is what happens in the future, I will watch it. Probably because I think I saw the trailer like once and I was like, oh, it looks kind of interesting.
And people say it's really good.
Yeah, Succession again, on the list, and Severance is also on the list. I just haven't gotten to it. But sorry, I think to answer the question, I'd be fine with Saul, Euphoria, Squid Game, Stranger Things, any of those. I for what I would probably be pulling for, I'd probably pull for Better Call Saul. But like you said, I know they have another year, so.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I think they might be like, oh, let's give it to this or let's give it to that, is just because they know, well, next year Saul has a crack at it. Like, there's some things with Saul that don't, like Michael Mando. He can only be nominated for the first half of the season, not the last half. I believe Giancarlo Esposito as well. It's if he gets nominated for this, that's it basically. Which, let's see, did he even get nominated for this? Supporting actor. Oh, because it's a oh wait, no, it is a drama, right? Yeah. Wow. So yeah, Giancarlo didn't get nominated. No nominations for Better Call Saul in supporting. Ray Seahorn, however, nominated for Best Supporting Actress. I think that she should definitely get that, for sure.
Agreed.
Interesting. Well, lots to think of. But last one for the Emmys that I think will go on is overall comedy series. We got Abbott Elementary, which I have not seen. Barry, I've seen, of course. Curb Your Enthusiasm, finally finished that season. Hacks, I have not seen. Marvelous Miss Maisel, I do not watch. Only Murders in the Building, I have one more episode of season 2. Ted Lasso, of course, and then What We Do in the Shadows, which I have not seen the most recent season of yet. Out of this, if I had to give it to one, see, that's hard.
Barry still in comedy?
Yeah. Next
it's not
season,
a comedy
it should change
season.
its classification, honestly, yeah.
Well, apparently, I think Bill Hader said it's going to be more comedy next season, but season 2 wasn't, or was it season 3?
Season 3, yeah.
I forget. Season 3 wasn't a comedy. It was like full out drama.
Yeah, no, 100%. But yeah, I am gonna say I would want it to go to Barry or Ted Lasso, or Only Murders in the Building. Honestly, I'd be fine with any of those. Curb, I think, was fantastic but again, like I said, as normal. I don't think it did anything to jump up and over the edge of some of these other shows. So if I had to guess, I'd probably say maybe it goes to Barry. But again, Ted Lasso, Only Murders, Barry, those are 3 of the most popular shows on all of television and all of streaming right now. So it's a really tough crowd. But what do you think is going to end up taking that?
Honestly, let me just double check in my thinking. Yeah, I was gonna say, doesn't Marvelous Miss Maisel win everything?
Yeah, normally.
I was gonna say, I feel like maybe they'll take it again. So if they won, I would not be surprised. But I would like to see Barry win. What has it won before? Anything?
Yeah, he has won. I know that for sure.
Oh, it's won 9 Emmys. Okay, so they're not
it's definitely
struggling.
Yeah, it's a big winning show. That's why, honestly, it's crazy to me how little Emmys Better Call Saul has won, just because it's like, I don't know, it's such a big show. But here, do you have the Barry Emmys up there?
Yeah.
All right, I'll pull up the Saul awards here. Nominated. Wow. Better Call Saul nominated for 46 Emmys. And how much has it ever won? I don't think it's ever won. I don't know.
No, come on.
Nominee. It has not won a single Emmy. Is that right? Bob Odenkirk is now.
The disrespect.
No, I don't think he has.
The man had a heart attack. Okay, let's give him one.
Wow. That is crazy to me that it has not been. Wow. And then you figure too, it missed the 21 Emmys entirely. It wasn't even part of it because there was no season that year. That's crazy.
Oh. Okay.
All right. Any other thoughts on the Emmys or any other thoughts like that? And then we'll go to chat real quick.
No. All I can say is I'm not going to promise I'll be watching them, but I can say we'll be tweeting out the winners. I will say that.
Let's see. Michelle says, I feel like poor Florence Pugh is stuck in the middle of all the crazy going on behind the scenes of this film. Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of that going around. First thing I thought was Pine sitting next to Olivia. He was the buffer to keep Harry away from her. Interesting, maybe. I loved inventing Anna. Good. I don't think they will give it to them, but Stranger Things just blew everything out of the water. Yeah, it was like TJ said too. A lot of people love this season. I mean, I count myself included, obviously. But yeah, I thought it was an absolutely fantastic season of television too. So if that, does end up winning, go for it. I think that's great. I think it deserves it as well, just because it was so good this year. But yeah, let me see. All right. So last thing here we'll talk about, which, geez, we're not even in an hour yet. We're moving through everything tonight, so I'm sure we can talk about some other things. We got some other stuff we could talk about too, like She-Hulk and stuff like that. But for now, let's talk about D23. So, here we go. We got the reports trickling in here. So, the first official, these are all speculated or rumors or reports of things we're going to see at D23, and then we'll play a little game with us in the audience and everybody of trying to figure out some things from a poster that they released from D23 that has a bunch of stuff on it. But it looks like first up, the first official trailer for Secret Invasion has been translated in multiple languages and is ready to be presented to the public at D23. So it looks like we will be getting our first full look at Secret Invasion this weekend. Which, if you don't know, is going to be on Saturday. We are going to be live. Now, the panel is not going to be streamed, I believe, but it is going to be one of those days where Twitter will basically just be lighting up during the panel with, live tweets of this is happening, trailers dropping, clips dropping, posters, everything like that, news, anything revolving around the three main pillars of that panel, which is Marvel Studios, Lucasfilm, and 20th Century Studios.
Please join us on Saturday. What, 1 p.m. Eastern, I think it is, right?
Yep, 1 p.m. Eastern. We will be live. We'll probably go live just right at 1 because there's no real need to go live early since it's not like we're going to be watching along with something. So we'll go live probably right at 1 o'clock. Some of the Phase 6 projects will most likely be announced. But let's just go for it, man. What are some of the stuff that you want to see? If you had to give me, I don't care if it's in an order or if you got to think about it or whatever, but if you give me three things that you really want announced or really, really want either confirmed or whatever it might be at D23 this week, let us know. And there's 9 people watching us right now. So let us know in the chat. Could be one word. You could write Deadpool. Just let us know in the chat. What are you most excited for Marvel Studios to announce for the MCU, Star Wars to announce, maybe Indiana Jones, 20th Century. Maybe 20th Century is who's going to do Deadpool. We don't even know stuff like that. So let us know that in the chat as well. But TJ, what are you looking forward
to? I think first thing is Fantastic Four casting. I would really like to see that, and I don't think they've done a confirmation on Matt Shakman directing.
Yeah, no,
which I think has been rumored. So I'd like to see that along with the cast. I'm sorry, I really don't think it's going to be. I moved away from John Krasinski and Olivia Wilde, Emily Blunt.
Oh, Emily Blunt.
Yeah, I think it's going to be other people. And who was that guy that was rumored, or is that someone you made up? The guy from You.
Oh, Penn Badgley.
Was that an actual rumor, or is that just someone you thought of? I forgot.
No, that's an actual rumor. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I could see, them announcing that, and then whoever else. I'd like to see something. I'd like to see something from Acolyte. Some show I'm really looking forward to.
That just announced a new cast member. Officially announced a new cast member.
Yeah.
Forget who though.
So probably obviously no footage or anything, but maybe who's directing the episodes.
I mean, you could honestly with the volume. There's a chance they could knock something out, or at least a little sizzle, like a little behind the scenes sizzle reel. I think that's possible.
So that who's in that, and maybe the whole overall kind of what the plot is, what the story is, and where it takes place. That is the show that I'm very much looking forward to. That I'm hoping can kind of have the same kind of grit that we've seen Andor's trailers have, something like that, where we're going to kind of what Rogue One had, where it just kind of feels like it's like a dirtier Star Wars universe. Third thing, I don't think there's going to be any games or anything, so we can there's going to be no like Wolverine game.
Yeah, there's a separate there is a separate panel for
there is. Okay,
Disney games. Yep, so we're expected to get another trailer for Jedi Survivor, as well as a story trailer for Wolverine.
About that. When is Jedi? When is that again? When is Jedi Survivor?
I think it's like January 2nd or something.
Oh wow, okay.
I might be wrong. It might be.
So Wolverine would be interesting because we haven't heard anything about that in. When was that announced?
Last E3, so like 6 months ago.
Was it
more than 6 months ago, probably?
Yeah. And obviously Insomniac also working on the new Spider-Man game, but that's a Sony thing, so there'll be no talk about that. What was the other thing? What were we just saying?
Oh yeah, sorry.
I'd be interested to see. I'd be interested to see if they talk about the KOTOR remake, because I know it got kind of shelved and pushed to a different company, and then maybe something about, remember that game? Was that Eclipse that was talked about? That
yeah.
Oh, it's just a like concept thing. Like if people want to come onto the team and make the game, like so that thing. So maybe they talk about that if they've gotten any applications for that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that'll do it for me for now.
Here is what I will throw to you.
Okay.
First, I'm going to read chat real quick. Standalone Scarlet Witch film. I think that... All right, let's go with this. Anybody... Like I said, guys, there's 8 of you in the chat right now. We got Michelle chiming in all the time. Thank you so much, Michelle. Join her. Let us know. Give me one thing that you are super excited or guessing that they'll announce. But I want you to tell me, do you think that this is over under 50% likely to be announced? So standalone Scarlet Witch film. I think that's likely. Or I'll say possible.
I'm gonna say possible because I feel like I just feel like we got a lot of Wanda lately.
I agree with that. I do.
Maybe we focus on some other people.
And I think we can we quick spoiler alert. Let her stay dead a little bit. She's obviously not dead.
Yeah.
Just let her stay dead a little bit. That's all I ask. But
it's really interesting too to see what they're going to be announcing, because they said a lot at Comic-Con. So I'm interested to see what else they got.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think too, things that we already have had announced for the longest time. Armor Wars, Deadpool 3, Werewolf by Night. Werewolf by Night, by all accounts, is coming out next month. Which believe me, I think totally possible after what they pulled with Thor. I think it's totally possible that we just, here's Michael Giacchino. You know him, you love his music. He's directing, the first Marvel Studios TV movie. Enjoy Werewolf by, I think they could totally do that.
Moon Knight season 2.
I think that's likely. Michelle says Deadpool 3 with at least a cameo of Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. I think Deadpool 3 being announced is very likely. I think cameo, that'll just be, you'd have to wait for the movie for that, but still holding out for Krasinski playing Reed. I think that ship has sailed, or maybe it never even existed at this point, but I could be wrong. Would love at least a teaser for the Marvels. I think that's possible.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Would like to see something for Ahsoka. Yeah, I think we could get a teaser.
Ahsoka, yeah.
I think
there's got to be something there.
I think we could get, like, this is what I think for Ahsoka and for the Marvels. I think that Ahsoka and the Marvels will be the opening kind of, whoa, look at all this stuff Marvel Studios has. And then it'll be like a shot of Kamala Khan in space, a shot of Carol Danvers in a new outfit that we've never seen, a shot of Monica Rambeau. And then I think the same thing with Star Wars. It'll be like Mando, or Andor, Mando, you know, and then a few shots of Ahsoka at the end. Because what I think trailer we're definitely going to get, and this is, I'm not reading this off a report or anything, this is just in me, I think we're definitely going to be getting our first teaser for Ant-Man 3, just because that is so soon. Now, granted, nothing for Thor came out until less than a month before its release, so that is totally fair. But that being said, Thor also didn't have a convenient spot beforehand like Ant-Man does, and we know they already showed an Ant-Man trailer at Comic-Con a month ago. Makes a lot of sense that they would have that finished trailer be ready to be shown.
Maybe
here.
Maybe a confirmation of who is playing Thrawn, possibly.
Yep. Like I said, guys, we got
Assuming,
shout out everybody. We got 11 people watching.
Or do we know Thrawn is in Ahsoka? Is that confirmed?
I think it's
probably not, right? It's
actually, I think Filoni said something like time to take on the blue guy with it, or something like that. I think Filoni said something like that. But I think so 100%. But like I said, guys, we got 11 people watching right now. Let us know in chat, what project are you most excited to be announced at D23? Whether that's Marvel, Star Wars, Lucasfilm, anything like that, let us know. And hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button right down there.
Another thing I just thought of, maybe more information on Skeleton Crew, that Jude Law show.
Yeah.
That's
apparently already filming. So we could maybe even get a Guardian style, like, we've been filming for 3 weeks. Here's what we have, All right, I'm going to throw this to you now. Here is a list of names that Marvel Studios has reportedly hired and will be announced as new characters joining the MCU at D23. So I don't care if you want to make your Fantastic Four out of this list, go for it. If you want to tell me, but basically let's fan cast who we want to see this list of people be.
Okay.
Number 1, John Boyega. So again, just to reiterate, these are reportedly names that have already been cast and signed into the MCU. We are going to get these people announced on Saturday.
Something I'm just real quick off that list. John Boyega is somebody who I'd be pretty surprised to come back to. Well, I guess Oscar Isaac did it, but I think it's pretty well known. A lot of them didn't have the greatest time shooting those movies. Yeah. So it would kind of surprise me if he'd come back so soon to do another franchise. But yeah,
I think if you do, I think if you give him a role that's not as substantial, I think he'd be down. I think, I'm thinking like Kit Harington, Dane Whitman. Yeah, I'm sure he's going to have a big part to play, but it's not a Benedict Cumberbatch of like, that guy is in that cape, 3 months out of every year for the past decade. But yeah, I think for me, I'll go. Well, let me read the whole list, and then we'll go.
Read the whole list.
John Boyega, Henry Cavill, Jodie Comer, Daisy Edgar Jones, John Krasinski, Penn Badgley, Giancarlo Esposito, and Denzel Washington have all reportedly been cast in the MCU and will have their roles announced. I will start off at the bottom of the list. This may be wishful thinking, but if Denzel's going to be in the MCU, might as well just go for it. I think Giancarlo Esposito is a lock to be Professor X. I think that is perfect. Oh, okay. Give me Denzel as his Magneto.
Oh.
Denzel Washington as Eric Lencher.
Okay. Yep.
That, to me, that would be pretty badass and pretty cool. And also because, I hate to break anyone's Fox-loving heart, but those characters weren't always British in the comics. That was basically the animated series that did that and then inspired the castings essentially. And then obviously, you know, it doesn't matter that they're not white or anything. So if you want Denzel to be there, the only thing you could argue with that is, you know, I don't know what you're going to do with the whole Holocaust angle of it with his origin.
Right.
That is a tough challenge because that character is just getting further and further removed from that time period. So maybe they'll have to figure something out with that. That being said, either way, I think that would be awesome. Now here's the one that's confusing to me. Penn Badgley and John Krasinski. So what is that? They're both on this list. What do you think the deal is with that?
Well, this doesn't say to specifically act in anything, correct? It could be anything. You could be acting, you could be directing, you could be, you know.
The list does say Marvel Studios has hired these actors. That's what that's all it says.
You know.
But
yeah.
I would assume you're right. I would assume Krasinski could be hired as a director.
Yeah, because he just, you know, he got, like, again, he just strikes me now as somebody who would rather direct it than star in a Fantastic Four. Just because he did that, you know, like he had his little fun being Mr. Fantastic. And I don't know if you really want to play either too much into that fan casting as well. Because then I feel like it kind of looks like you're just kind of going with what people want to see, and not exploring something different. So I would probably go Penn Badgley, Mr. Fantastic, and maybe John Krasinski, either another character or directing some other project, which I think would be really cool. You said Jodie Comer, right?
Yeah.
I think she'd be Sue Storm.
Yeah, I think that would be like near perfect casting.
Yeah.
If you could get Penn Badgley and Jodie Comer as Reed and Sue, I think that's great. Jodie Comer, obviously super big talent, up and coming still, you know, but Jodie Comer again too. Rise of Skywalker. A lot of Rise of Skywalker people on this list as Rey's mom. But yeah, Jodie Comer. I think I'm absolutely with you on that. What about Daisy Edgar Jones? So that's she was in the film Fresh with Sebastian Stan, and then obviously was just in Where the Crawdads Sing.
Also,
local theater
Under the Banner of Heaven with Andrew Garfield.
Oh, she's in that.
Put that out there. Yeah, she's in that.
I gotta watch that, man.
Good show.
What do you think about her? Rogue?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know how much. Again, I don't know how
the
much
X-Men are so
they're getting
tricky
into.
too. Yeah, because it's like, how fast are we rolling this out? And also what age group? Where are we setting this? Is this going to be Rogue is 12 or Rogue is, you know, a teacher? You know, you could really do either one. But yeah, she's tough. I don't know. I'm trying to think of any bigger roles.
It's funny too because I feel like I've seen Giancarlo Esposito fan cast as Doctor Doom, which people have the theory of him showing up in Black Panther in some sort of post credit or something like that. Which again would be really cool. Daisy Edgar Jones.
I'm trying to think like who's a big person that like has yet to be introduced. That's not.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Jean Grey, or you know, like that's not like Mystique. But then again, I mean, the X-Men are coming, so why wouldn't it be? Like I keep thinking in my head, I'm like, it's not gonna be an X-Men, but I'm like, why wouldn't it be? I just said that two of the people on the list would be Professor X and Magneto, so you know you got to fill out the team somehow. But
one thing I will say real quick that we didn't mention, another thing that I just think might be announced is Eternals 2. And I know that's kind of a rough spot for some people because I know a lot of like these, you know, these amount of people. I'll say the movie was very much divided 50-50 on if you liked it or didn't like it. And I know a lot of people are kind of against an Eternals 2. But I think they're going to double down on Chloe Zhao and, you know, give another whack at it.
Yeah. Yeah, and we also had Patton Oswalt a couple weeks ago. I think he was on the Today Show, right, where he was like, "Oh yeah, they confirmed, you know, Chloe Zhao is going to be back for Eternals 2 and everything," and people were like, Did they?
That didn't happen. Yeah.
When did that happen? Yeah. So that might have just been him meaning like he is going to be on another project, or maybe he just let the cat out of the bag. Either way.
Yeah.
All right. What do we
Who would
think?
Henry
if
Cavill
anything.
be?
Oh man, I didn't even think about Henry.
Put a pin in
skipped right
Daisy
over
Edgar
him.
Jones because we don't know.
Oh man.
Henry
All right.
Cavill.
We got a report here from the MCU source saying
Okay.
confirmed Tobey Maguire will appear in Avengers Kang Dynasty.
What?
Confirmed from Kevin Feige himself. I don't know what they mean by confirmed, but if they know something that we don't, I think that makes a whole lot of sense.
That's
for
like
him to
2
be in
years
there.
away. More than
Yeah,
that,
exactly,
isn't it? 3?
Yeah, but then again, they film these movies in a computer like 4 years in advance.
That's true. Yeah.
Guys, let us know on the live chat. What are you looking forward to? We got 12 people watching right now, man. Check it out. Let's shift over to a character real quick. Oh, Henry Cavill, I'll say probably somebody like Hyperion or Sentry. I think that the rumors have been for such a long time now that he's fed up with Warner Brothers and that Marvel wants him for a Superman type character. I think that would make a lot of sense. Or I think you could go a real literal thing and have him be like a Captain Britain or something, and bring in.
Oh yeah.
Brian
What about
Egerton.
what's his name? We just talked about him.
Okay.
Last week, it was a story that he's gonna have a show or he's gonna appear in something.
Oh, Wonder Man. Yeah.
Wonder Man.
Henry Cavill is Wonder Man. I could see that
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, I could see that for
He
sure.
just seems like that kind of. He was because he's an actor, right? The character, and
Yeah.
he, I don't know. That
actor
kind of
and
seems like
superhero.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't see him as like
100%.
why can't I think of him? Hold on. I can't see him as a Human Torch. There you go. Couldn't remember that.
I was just gonna say, what about John Boyega?
yeah, that's what I
as,
was thinking. I was thinking maybe they go that route again.
But what about John Boyega as the Thing?
The Thing.
Yeah, as Ben Grimm. He can do a little facial capture. He could basically be a Bradley Cooper. Maybe that's why he'd come back. Because he can do I shoot for 1 month in a booth with the director and do the facial capture and the voice and everything, and that's my part.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think that's possible. I think that would be cool. I think he would be a great Ben Grimm. I also think he would be a great Johnny Storm. I think it'd be really good in either one. Let's shift over to a character. What's going on with Daredevil? What do we think's happening? We know that Daredevil Born Again is announced. We're getting reports that it is going to film as early as March or April, maybe May of 2023. So they are moving full steam ahead on this show. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think we're going to get a first, look at some concept art, some information about it, maybe more casting? Maybe Kristen Ritter is back, in it or
I was going to say, we got to get...
Foggy and Karen.
Foggy and Karen back. I think that'll be something that is announced.
I could see that, yeah. And we're so
I
happy
think you
to
have
have
to.
Daredevil Born Again,
Yeah.
and joining, Charlie Cox. Again, we couldn't have the show without them.
Yeah.
Karen and Foggy. I could totally see that.
I'm interested to see. Wait, sorry, what character? Oh, you said Daredevil. Yeah, like you said, maybe some concept art. Maybe maybe he shows up in this episode, this coming episode.
Oh, sure.
So they have something to work with on stage after that episode. Assuming
didn't
he's
even
just
think
probably
about
some
that. That is
small
true.
cameo in She-Hulk. And maybe a future for Hulk as well. I'll say with Bruce Banner, maybe we get something as well with him. Just going off Daredevil real quick. I know the whole World War Hulk thing is a rumor and everything like that. maybe it's about time they do another Hulk movie. By the way,
Yeah.
I didn't bring it up. I don't think I brought it up on a review. They made a joke, I think, in the second episode. Was it the second one? Where something about like Bruce like looking different or something like that.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
it was like Tim Roth. I was like, oh, they did it.
Deborah
else?
Ann Wool's
What else?
Karen Page and Eldon Henson's Foggy Nelson will return in Daredevil Born Again.
When is that again? Do we know when that is? It's probably like.
Well, like I
late
said, they're
next year,
saying they're
early
going to start
2024.
filming in like March, May area. So I'm going to guess probably that time in 2024. Probably like maybe April 2024, something like that. When
That makes
is
sense.
Kang Dynasty? Like, when is that supposed to be?
I feel like that's like 2024. Or maybe
Yeah,
it's
that's
early
what I was thinking.
2025.
Is that 2024 or 2025? Let's see.
Do we get another Thor movie?
Oh, yeah, announced.
The last one. Maybe.
Oh, Kang Dynasty is 2025.
Mm.
Okay. So that gives us a lot of time. We still got a lot of time to get through all this stuff. Everybody's like, there's going to be so much stuff. And it's like, yeah, but it is all kind of pretty spaced out, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one, just going off Marvel again, I think maybe we get an update on either somebody's movies. Either it's Ryan Johnson or Taika or Kevin Feige's Star Wars movie as well. But they are doing very well right now with, the shows and everything. But, feels like Rise of Skywalker was forever ago. That was the last Star Wars movie, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
sadly.
yeah.
But yeah. We got level 14 Bahilo Gaming. Welcome. Let us know. What are you excited for the MCU to announce or for Star Wars to announce? But yeah, I don't know. Do you want to end on a little bit of She-Hulk talk? We haven't really talked the twerk at all.
I
was supposed to have an episode 3 review up on the channel, but I lost the video file like halfway through.
Of course.
Had to go to work. Didn't feel like re-recording it. So let's go ahead. We can talk about She-Hulk right now, and we'll throw this up on the channel. But what are your thoughts? We got the episode all about Megan Thee Stallion. Living it up. She-Hulk living it up. What do you think?
I thought the episode was fine. I think the thing I disliked the most was the second plot. I really didn't care about this guy he got scammed out of his money and car by this Asgardian shapeshifter lady. I just thought that was all kind of like it just doesn't really matter. And I know like people are like, well, it's like supposed to be, just procedural funny comedy. And I get that. It's just like I just didn't find that whole part of the episode interesting. The amount of times they mentioned Megan Thee Stallion and say her name, like, oh, Megan Thee Stallion. Like I thought that was kind of funny. I thought again the post-credit scene I thought was funny. I think I saw it on Twitter, TikTok first before I watched the episode. And it was obviously, it came out too that she was in the MCU a few days before the episode came out.
Yeah.
So that was kind of in there already. But I thought it was a good episode. We got a little Wong cameo, and I'm assuming he'll probably show up maybe once or twice more. But yeah, I thought overall it was good.
Yeah, I thought as well. I thought it was good. I think for me, 3 is probably the weakest episode so far. Not saying that that's a bad thing at all, because I still really, really loved episode 3. But that being said, I did think that it just kind of wavered a little bit. For me, I actually really loved the stuff with Pug having to defend that guy, Dennis from the DA's office. I thought it was just funny and just stupid. That's what kind of why I liked it. I was just like, what is going on? Like when the shapeshifter comes out as him, and he's like, I love harassing in the workplace. He says something like, it's my kick, baby. And then he comes out and it's the real him, and he's like, guys,
Yeah.
you know I don't do that. You know me. Like, he's just so, and then he
Yeah.
just pops back in his office. Like, little
Yeah.
stuff like that I thought was funny.
Um,
But for me, it was like the Wrecking Crew stuff at the end when they bring in like the Wrecking
Yeah.
Crew and they're like,
So
we're
what's
trying to get your
the-
blood, lady.
yeah.
It was a little
So
like,
what's
over
the
the
deal
top.
with that? Who's the boss? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. That's a good question. I think there's a lot of good candidates. I think we could have Sharon Carter. I think it could be a power broker thing.
Yep.
Could be Kingpin.
said.
Could
The only
be.
thing I
I
said.
think most Hulk centric. Obviously, Tim Blake Nelson as the leader. People have been waiting
Hey.
for that for over a decade.
Better time, when is the better time going to show up? I mean,
No, exactly. Yeah,
we've
I
been
mean,
waiting
like I
so
said,
long.
He's the like Kingpin makes sense. Sharon Carter makes sense. Total sense based on
Yeah.
Hawkeye and Falcon. Everything like that led to both those guys. But if you're talking Hulk centric, to me, the leader is the clear choice. I don't think it's Titania, who some people have speculated. I think it could be if they're really setting her up to be the big bad of this season. But I think that's a little too like easy. If you're like, who's the big bad, and you're like, it's the girl who stormed into the courtroom at the end of the first episode and then got taken out with one kick. It's a little questionable on that. But I think for my money, I think I'll go with the leader. I think that's who it's gonna end up being. But that being said, like I said, that scene to me was the weakest scene in the show so far. Just felt a little like hammy. Like, I'm all for how funny it is. I love how funny this show is, and I think it is genuinely very funny. That scene to me was just a little hammy. I don't know. Did you steal? What did you steal? What did you rob an Asgardian construction site? Yeah. Like, okay.
Okay.
But other than that, I still love the episode.
Yeah. What is the deal with where do we go? Where does Abomination go from here? I was thinking maybe he joins the Thunderbolts.
I think he'll definitely be on the Thunderbolts. My bigger question with him is, do you believe him? Do we believe that he's actually reformed?
I don't know.
Because I go back and forth with it, I feel like,
Yeah.
scene to scene. But based on the trailers and stuff, we know we're still not done with Abomination because we've seen some scenes with him that we haven't gotten yet. And then also with some set pictures and stuff, and he has said that he got to work with Mark Ruffalo. So to me, that's like,
okay.
Well, something must be happening then. And we do have a lot more time in this show left. I mean, there's 9 episodes. So basically now we have a full Disney Plus show left of this Disney Plus show.
I also felt like he's a completely different character from what he was in the Hulk movie. I feel like in the movie he was very cocky and very full of himself.
Yeah.
And so that leads me to believe that, he has changed.
And
So
you
I'd be
figure
interested
for
to see
him
that.
it's been 17 years
Yeah.
incarcerated.
My thinking with Abomination and
Yeah.
what's it called?
The Wrecking Crew? Like those guys?
The team.
Oh.
The team that I was like,
Oh,
that
the
could be
Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts. I was like, because isn't Red Hulk usually in that, and that is supposed to be
Yeah, usually. Because Red Hulk is usually Thunderbolt Ross. RP.
right, but he obviously he passed away.
Oh, there you go. Level 14 Bahilo Gaming says, will General Ross be replaced? Will there be a Red Hulk?
I don't know.
I still think if you want to give him some meat to chew on, as good as Martin Freeman is relegated to the Black Panther movies, the one we've had so far, just retcon it to be that he is related to Thunderbolt Ross. They have the same last name, so you got an actor right there. I think you could go that route and just say that he's, Thunderbolt Ross's nephew or something. And then maybe you have Martin Freeman in a couple years' time turn into the Red Hulk. And then maybe Bruce, the only way he can stop the Hulk is by being the Hulk again. So yeah, but I think would you say, are we both in agreement that Bruce is heading back to the kind of uncontrollable side of things? That's what I think, at least. That's what
Where
I
have
think
you what has given you that idea, would you say?
I just think that he's been a little more emotional than we've seen him before in the first episode. And also, even though it was a kind of testing her strength type fight, he got angrier in that fight than he did when they went back in time in Endgame. You know what I mean? And also, when he the most emotional he got in Endgame was when he found out that Nat died. And sure, did he murder somebody by whipping a bench across the New York State? For sure. But you know, like, he still handled it. Like, he just more got, like, sad and depressed in that movie instead of angry. And also, I just think with everything that they're setting up...
So.
Well, exactly. Or it used to be.
Yeah.
I said was. Anyways. Oh, shout out. That just reminded me, shout out Tim Robinson for I Think You Should Leave on Netflix. He won his first Emmy at the Creative Arts Emmys. But yeah, I just get that vibe that he's losing control, or all this stuff with Sakaar. I think, like, he wants to live on that island as secluded as possible, but I think that a lot of shit's going to start hitting the fan, which I'm very excited for. But again, maybe he doesn't. Maybe the Red Hulk showing up is what causes him, the need to switch back to regular Hulk. But yeah, I think that would be great. Let's see. Behilo Gaming, you said he was there from the start. Who was there from the start? Let us know. Are you talking about Hulk? Like 2008? Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I think lastly, I think you'll probably get more information as well on Captain America and New World Order. I think that's the other thing.
Oh, yeah. I think you can get some official kind of supporting characters.
Yep.
And reprising his role, Sebastian Stan.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I thought you were about to say Chris Evans. I was like, I don't think so.
Oh, no, I don't think we'll get that. I think I think if he's going to, it's a post-credit for that to tease Avengers, because that is the one cool thing. As excited as I am for Secret Wars and for Kang Dynasty, we're getting a Captain America movie a year before that. I'm excited to get another Captain America movie. Like that, I love those movies. If they can get Marcus and McFeely, who wrote that whole trilogy, back to write this one, sign me up.
I think we've agreed too. It's the best like trilogy of movies for a character.
Oh, the strongest for sure. Yeah. I mean, you could have your opinions about the early Thor movies or the later Iron Man movies or whatever. Ant-Man, I think, might be giving it a run for its money if the third one sticks it.
Ant-Man the Wasp.
More so if Guardians 3 sticks it.
Oh, great! Yeah.
But even those, because you could say, I love the first two Ant-Man, or Ant-Man and Ant-Man and the Wasp, but you could, Ant-Man and the Wasp was a little lesser of an important story. Captain America was like, here's a crazy good movie. Here's an even crazier, thriller movie. Here is an Avengers movie. So that also might be a little unfair of an advantage that, Captain America 3 was basically just Avengers 2.5. But that being said, I think we're going to get a lot of... Oh, how about the other trilogy that actually exists? Spider-Man. That's the true comparison. How did I just forget about the Spider-Man trilogy? Anyways, what do you think is the better out of those two trilogies?
I'd probably have to go Spider-Man.
Honestly, me too. We just were so confident in Captain America. I forgot about... I mean, I love Far From Home. And then Homecoming is an amazing film. And No Way Home is No Way Home. Like, you can't... I mean, there's no real comparison to that. You got freaking Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield back. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be a pretty crazy weekend. But yeah, we will be covering all of it here on the channel for you guys. We will be covering D23 itself, the Marvel, Lucasfilm, and 20th Century panel, which is going to be live. We will be live on this channel at 1 p.m. on Saturday, September 10th, covering anything that drops from there, doing some trailer reactions, reviews of anything that comes out, reactions to some of the news and everything, and breaking it all down for you there. And then also, I have a week off of work coming up, so I will be doing videos, kind of breaking down interesting things I want to talk about, and all kinds of stuff like that on the channel. I'm going to try to have a bunch of different people on there, including TJ, obviously. But we're going to try to have Brandon on, a couple other people as well, just to get their thoughts on any of the cool stuff that's announced. Speaking more generally, I think that we will get some more of the Phase 6 lineup revealed. But yeah, so I think that'll do it. I will leave you with two things, which is go over and follow us at the official PFN over on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. TJ is always posting new trailers, new posters, movie news, TV news, anything like that over on our Twitter, reposting trailers, stuff like that. TikTok, we are posting news, reactions, reviews, edits, lists, ranked stuff, all this kind of stuff over on our TikTok all the time for you guys. And then I'm going to send you over to check out our reviews, our first 3 reviews of The House of the Dragon. I think we are loving this show. I am definitely loving this show, and I will then throw out a recommendation that I threw to TJ. On HBO Max, search up The House That Dragons Built. There is a secret show on HBO Max in the extras of House of the Dragon, which is there is a 30-minute documentary on the making of every single episode of that show, which is insane that that's not getting talked about more, because I watched all 3 and they're fantastic. That'll do it for me. I have been one of your hosts, Sean Monk.
I'm your other host, TJ Cornwall. As Sean said, please follow us on all our social media channels, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. And don't forget to tune in Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern. We'll be live on this channel for 2 hours, reacting to all the announcements from the D23 conference, either Marvel, Star Wars, or Disney-related things. So please come and join us for the stream for that, and we will see you then.
Boom.